Friends, Fever fans, welcome back to another Fever Replay podcast, your home for a weekly breakdown of Fever games and news. This podcast is once again brought to you by the love of the game. When it rains, it pours, but you just keep on playing for the love of the game. I'm Chris Ord, but guess what? Not alone this time. We have the one, the only, Keisha Gallagher as our host. How you doing, Keisha?
I'm doing well, Chris. Wi-Fi and internet are operational. We're back in business, baby.
The base is fully operational.
How are you, Chris?
I'm okay. I'm so tired. This podcast coming a little late in the week. Me and my family got to visit our family in California, which was great. But we flew back at like 11:30 at night. And so that was rough. And that West Coast to East Coast jet lag is no joke.
Very real.
It's not fun.
No.
And I left my wife back there. She's still working back there.
I left my
So I just came home. I came limping home all alone. Just me against the three kids.
You against the music.
But, at least, Keisha, here's the thing. At least I had my wonderful Fever to lift my spirits. That's my one refuge in this... There's a Freudian slip. My one refuge in this life is the Fever. That's where I go for joy, for an escape from the pain. That hasn't been happening. Ask me why, Keisha.
Why, Chris?
Because everyone's hurt.
Yeah.
We have no guards.
You know what's funny?
Fever fans.
Is we talked earlier in one of the earlier pods about having too many guards, and maybe we cursed the team. Because now, no guards. Guards?
No guards.
None to be found.
Caitlin, still day-to-day. Colson, out for the season. Cunningham, out for the season. Airy, out for the season. Goodness gracious.
It's brutal. It is brutal.
It's really brutal.
And, the type of injuries that we're dealing with also still don't have a time frame that really gives you a lot of hope just yet. Because the ACL and MCL, in case you are not familiar with those injuries, for women, they're pretty common in basketball, but the recovery time is all over the place, especially with an MCL, because you don't typically see too many tears there. Those are explained on grades. So there's a grade 1, which is, it's a sprain, no real urgency to go to a doctor. It's a couple of weeks recovery. Grade 2, you may need to have surgery. It could be months of recovery. And grade 3 is the worst, total tear that's going to need surgery, and that could be a year's worth of recovery. And of course, we're not quite sure where Cunningham is on that grade, but knowing that she's out for the season, don't love that. Not looking great.
Well, she has said that they say it's 4 months for her. That's what they're saying. And she also said that it's the best case scenario for a serious knee injury. That's what she said. When she found out from the doctor what it was, they were both really happy to hear that. So that's good, but doesn't mean she's coming back.
But it may mean no surgery, which is best case scenario for this type of injury. So months of rest and rehabilitation, way better than a grade 3, because with the MCL, there's just so many ways you can damage it. It can almost be a little bit harder to figure out the right treatment plan if it's actually torn, or if it's badly torn.
Great. Fantastic.
Great news. But Sid had her surgery,
and
that's great. That means we're getting closer to understanding where she is on her recovery and when we're likely to see her again. Hopeful it's not something that she ultimately decides is a career-ending injury, but glad that she got that surgery and she seems to be doing well.
And then, of course, our fearless leader, Caitlin Clark. So I just want to buffer this a little by saying that Steph White said this does not affect her timeline at all. But she did also suffer a bone bruise on her foot during practice this week.
I mean, just wrap her up and let her sit on the bench for a little while, guys.
They said that has nothing to do with the groin injury. This won't make her sit out longer. I think they have to announce when she gets hurt.
Yeah.
I think they have to announce injuries. So, I mean, probably sort of thing that you would play through. But it's just funny. It's funny in that kind of sad, the sad kind of funny that makes you want to cry and feel like less happy. That kind
The
of
sad
funny?
kind of funny when you realize you're down 4 guards and it's the second half of the season and we're trying to make playoffs. That kind of funny.
Yeah, those playoffs are like slowly slipping away. Maybe, hopefully not. But this upcoming schedule, let me just read it off to you. Let me read off this upcoming schedule. So we have the Lynx, the Storm, the 2 easiest teams left, which is the Sparks and the Valkyrie, which we haven't beat yet this year. Then we got your Mercury.
Woo.
The Sky! The Sky! Huzzah! And then the Mystics and the Lynx one last time. That's a tough schedule.
Angels back, by the way, just so you know. And the Sky just beat New York tonight, so just, something to think about.
Hey. I don't need to do that. I don't need less joy in my life. All right, so it's been rough. It's been rough, Fever fans, to say the least. But we had kind of a bright spot this week in that we beat the Sun, who I'm steadily growing less and less fond of. I literally was dreading this game because I was like, I just hope we survive it. I've said this multiple times this week. Oh, we're playing the Sun. I hope we survive this without any injuries. And it happened. That wasn't the injury. It was an accident. It was whatever, just a normal basketball play. But I still don't like those ladies.
I have a big problem with Bria Hartley, and the fact that it was her that was involved in that injury did piss me off a little bit. I just don't like the way she plays. She is she's as the kids say, not a girl's girl. She plays like a lunatic.
Yeah, I don't want to read too into it. Cunningham herself said, we're friends. It wasn't anything malicious.
Mm-hmm.
You see pictures of online of her smiling as Cunningham is like writhing on the ground. But it's hard to know. Pictures are pictures. But it sucks.
It was devastating seeing her on the ground because I could, in the audio, you could clearly hear her like crying. It's a devastating blow to the Fever. But I would say the silver lining of this all is that Odyssey Sims is awesome. She is awesome. And I think we're lucky to pick her up.
I wasn't sure with the first outing, but with the second outing, very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And not only was she awesome, so we're going to transition now into kind of talking about the Suns game, which was a really exciting game, the second half anyway. It was a very exciting game. And it also kind of hopefully shows us kind of what we can build around with our current roster. Because we've talked about it all year. Our roster is very deep, very talented, bench. They're not the bench anymore. Our talented bench have become talented starters. So, what were your thoughts on this Sun game?
Yeah, so the first half was very frustrating to watch. I just felt at no point in the first and second quarter did I see that the Fever looked like they were in control. They just looked like they were playing catch-up that whole half. But one thing they didn't do was give up, and that second half was really impressive.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. I'm saying this is just my opinion. So Kelsey Mitchell is the best player in the Fever, and when she goes off, when she is performing, she is stealing the ball, she is creating assists, she is opening lanes, and she is draining huge shots that just motivate and pull the whole team together. Just watching her this year, she is putting together an incredible season. And that second half was really ignited by her getting the ball, getting Boston back involved in the offense. They're just so much more successful when Boston is touching the ball as well. But I just thought that second half really showed what they are capable of when things are clicking, when they find the flow, when they figure out the offense.
Yeah, I agree 100% that Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the Fever this year, hands down, for sure. I don't know about last year or next year, but for sure 100%
Definitely,
this year.
yeah. I'm speaking
know,
of this season.
Yeah.
This season, yeah.
For sure. And I feel like, so all the things you just said, I don't need to reiterate, but I feel like Aaliyah Boston's like kind of blossoming as a point forward has really facilitated that. Because as we've kind of gone over in the podcast before, we do a lot of really awesome screens. Like, it's a very dense screen package that we do. And we seem to be able to flow into it really smoothly. You know, you'll see one, and then you'll see like a double drag come across, and then they'll go back out to it, and then they'll pick. And if it doesn't work, they'll go back out. And all of that is able to get Kelsey Mitchell moving as fast as she would be in a transition play when we're just playing the half court. And it's all facilitated, like all of those rotating people are around Aaliyah Boston. And I feel like that has really pushed Mitchell like over this hump of being just like, oh, one of those players that everyone knows is pretty good, to like, oh, she's a big threat. And we don't know how to stop her. And it's a problem. You know, like you can tell the Sun were breathing real easy in the beginning when she's missing shots. They're like, guys, we're doing it. The game plan's working. This is it, you know? This is the thing we need. And Kelsey, I don't know what she did. She just drank some Gatorade in the locker room or something, because she had like no points in the first half besides some free throws. And then she just came out and scored like I think it's her career best scoring with no field goals in the first half.
Yeah.
That's insane.
38 points and a half. And overtime. But, like, 38 points is wild. I'm just so impressed with her ability to keep pushing, to figure it out. So if the three ball's not working, I'll go mid-range. If mid-range isn't working, I can find ways to dive and cut to the basket. She's just so creative. And I think that speaks a lot to her basketball IQ and the way that she's opening up these pathways and these lanes for the rest of the team. I mean, she is just... I know that earlier I said that Collier was the standalone MVP at the start of the season, but I think Kelsey Mitchell has definitely made her case, and she should be in that discussion, if she's not already.
Yeah, like, I don't need to... I'm not, like, actually trying to change the culture of the awards, but I always find it interesting. It's called MVP, Most Valuable Player. And when you're on a very good team, I do always wonder, like, how much more valuable are you than on a team that's really struggling, but you're still able to, like, make things happen. Like, I know it's always going to go to the winning team because the winning team has the most valuable player. That's really the point of the award, is that it's like, hey, we just want to say who's best this year, and best means winning. But also, like, yeah, if you look at what we've been dealt, and then you look at what Kelsey Mitchell is doing, it's hard to say that she's not our most valuable player.
Right.
She's, like, crushing it. And who has somebody that's doing what she's doing? And, like, it's not even what she's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be lifting, like, half of the scoring load. But pretty much all season, she's had to lift, like, the whole scoring load.
Right.
With this constant shakeup in our roster, what sort of lineups, what sort of combinations did you see that you were like, okay, this could be really good?
Well, I think that Odyssey Sims is a unique figure because, again, when it comes to adding these 7-day contracts or adding due to injury, the real gift there is that no one really knows what Odyssey Sims is capable of. They don't have the footage of her recently. They can look at old footage of when she was on other teams, but they've never seen her play with this group before. So I think that she is a really key factor in what the rest of the season is going to look like. So her being able to be a point guard means that Kelsey Mitchell is going to have opportunities to be open on the wings and to do those back cuts that she's so good at. The same with Lexi Hull. Odyssey Sims is really great at driving the ball and dishing, so I think that opens up to a lot of things that the Fever are already really good at, which is finding those open looks in the corner, those short mid-range jumpers, and finding their posts down low. So she really is kind of fitting in really well already. I mean, it's so early for her to have any sort of chemistry with anyone, but I think that she and Kelsey Mitchell understand each other's game really well, and they complement each other. Mm-hmm. So I think that factor of figuring out how to use Sims and Mitchell at the same time, or having them both play point guard, taking turns, I think that's what Coach White is going to have to figure out. But she just brings a lot of different opportunities for Lexi to see more shots, for Boston to get more opportunities for those high-key shots that she has in the post. She just opens up more opportunities when she is running post or running point.
And that's what's interesting is you see a ton of overlap in their minutes of the last game. You didn't see them. It wasn't like they were taking turns for each other. They were on the court a lot together.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I mean, we are kind of doing point guard by committee right now. So having two out there is good. And Kels honestly is better off the ball. Mm-hmm. Like in transition, we obviously want her to have the ball because she just is a freight train. But at the same time, like, she seems most dangerous when she can grab the ball in motion, or in her cuts or different things. What I'm really interested in, we tried Timpson early. We moved off of her and then only played Turner, which was a huge shock in the latter half of this game. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's because we were losing, or do you think that we thought maybe Turner's foot speed was better since we were down some guards?
I think we were going for speed for sure. Timpson is still pretty quick, but Turner's definitely going to be faster. I think we were looking for quick baskets because we needed as much time. We needed the ball as often as possible. We needed as much time in that game to keep getting those opportunities.
It makes sense. Turner wasn't like a key part of our comeback, but she also didn't hurt our comeback at all.
Right.
I noticed. I was like, and in the past throughout this season, she hasn't gotten a lot of playtime, and when she has, I've honestly not felt she looked that good, and was like, let's go with somebody else. I would say, I am not trying to be rude, but I didn't notice her in the close of this game, which I think is good. Like, I didn't notice her in a good way. She wasn't obviously featured in the offense, but also she wasn't hurting us. She wasn't giving things up. She helped us get through this huge comeback. Man, this is such a tale of two halves. When you look at just the points alone,
it was crazy.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, that was just... I think that also speaks to... I think that there are a lot of people who may not watch all of the games, who maybe only watch the Fever. So just looking at records, when you see that, I think the three bottom teams are going to be Dallas, Connecticut, and Chicago. And yes, they've had really rough seasons, also due to injury. It's hard to find a flow when people keep coming in and off the bench. But all of these teams are stacked. All of these teams are good and are like just full of talent. So when you finally have healthy folks, or all of these trades are finalized, we are seeing even the Sun. This is a new Suns team for us. J.C. Sheldon's gone. They added Aaliyah Edwards.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's healthy again. It's so hard to think, well, they have a horrible record. We should be able to walk all over them.
Looks so good.
Tina Charles looks so good. She's just... Yeah. And, like, Tina Charles is almost unguardable. She can shoot wherever she wants, whenever she wants, however she wants. It's tricky. They're going to be a tricky team to play against. And true, like, their run for making playoffs may be impossible, but if Tina Charles is staying around for another year, the Sun are going to be a really, really good team next season.
One of the things that hit me this game in particular, especially after Cunningham went down, and, like, she's been growing on me all season. We talk about her a lot. Howard was just the like pillar of consistency that we needed in this particular game, because in the beginning Mitchell wasn't even giving us anything. No one was getting anything, but Howard was. Howard was scoring. She's like, hey, business as usual, guys. I got this. And one other piece of it, like the strength in the paint, is something that I've always known was there. But what I've started to notice is when we'll do these screen options that we're running, and we'll screen and it's still covered, and then we'll go back the other way and it's still covered, and we're handing it off. I've noticed that the third person to come around the third time is almost so often throughout this game was Howard.
Yeah.
And I feel like when she realizes what's going on and they're like, oh, they're able to cover us in this action, she goes into the flow as well, regardless of where she was. She's like ready to keep that engine running when it might like start to sputter. Like, we try this, we try that. Oh, they covered both. She was like already moving, seeing it coming, and being like, don't worry, I got more fuel for the tank.
Yeah.
And then when you throw, like, if it's now Howard and Boston in a pick and roll together, gosh, that's a matchup nightmare for any team to cover at any point. And it's not a foot speed problem because you're already kind of gummed up and you already have people covering the other two guards. And that to me really just showed how comfortable I think she is currently, like, in the offense that we're running.
Yeah.
She like knows when she's needed and she knows where she needs to be. And that like consistency is absolutely what we needed this game. She didn't like shine in the end as like, when all the late game heroics were happening with Mitchell and even with Sims and Hull, who really closed that game out really well. Oh my gosh, on both defense and offense. But Howard was the one in the center of it that like kept us where we needed to be throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise to anyone who's listening. I'm a huge Howard fan, but it's just her IQ. There's just so many things happening on a basketball court with 10 players, and the way that she's able to see openings and to make predictions of where someone's going to try to find coverage, she's just so
without
clever.
The ball.
Yeah, moving without the ball is such a critical skill in basketball, men or women. And not everyone has that skill. Some people are great shooters, some people are great passers, but not everyone knows how to move without the ball. And she is just so good at finding ways to be open in the most surprising ways.
And throw on top of that her, defensive player of the year pedigree that she has. We don't even rely on that. That's not like her position on our team, But at the same time, when we need her to be tough on somebody, she's right there.
She's
ready to do it. Like, you'll
60%.
see people run into her. Yeah, you'll see people just run into her like a brick wall, and they're like, oh God, Howard.
Yeah, strong.
You're here. I just got by Lexi Hull, but you're here too? Great.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Kelsey Mitchell obviously was just, what a phenomenal game, and just way to come back and win a half. But through that game, even though Howard wasn't necessarily the star of the game, she shot over 60% from the field. Like, she is just a reliable player, and you know that she is going to work hard the whole game.
One thing I really want to just shine a light on is Coach. Because without a doubt, what we've learned the last couple weeks is she's fantastic. It's just with this much turnover in our roster, having to get new people into the game plan, having them to play real minutes, having like pivotal players go down again and again. Like this week, we lost games by like 1 point. Like, it sucks that we lost, but it makes sense that we lost. I wasn't like shocked, oh my God, we lost these games, I was more shocked that we're in them. Like, when you look at the last 3 games of this week, like, we actually were up on points because we lost 2 by 1 point, and then we won this one by 6. So it's like, truth be told, she's keeping this team afloat in spite of some really, really terrible circumstances. And that's got to be coaching. It's like, what else is coaching if not helping the group come together in spite of all of these horrible, like, external forces?
Yeah, I don't think she gets enough credit in general just because there's so much focus on Caitlyn all the time. And not that she isn't an incredible player, but there's only so much that an incredible player can do if there isn't a coach there to guide them and to facilitate that growth. And I think that if you had seen what Coach White did with the Sun the last 2 seasons, like, that was those teams for 2 years in a row were incredible. I mean, she had AT, she had Dejanay Carrington, she had just a star-studded team that she continued to push and make better. I think she really sees people for where they are at and knows how to get the best out of them.
I agree. I like her. Let's keep her.
Here.
Okay, Keisha, so here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hope in these next couple games. So what I'm not interested in is you telling me how these other teams are going to beat us and how they're very strong and doing great and their record reflects that and we're kind of underhanded. I don't want to hear any of that, okay? What I want to hear is, what way do you think it's possible for us to beat these people? Go.
Ooh, well, when it comes to the Lynx, they are definitely beatable. We know that. Very well. So I think it's just executing game plans. Of course, there are going to be turnovers. There's going to be missed shots. It's what you do after those plays, though. We have to be really smart and careful with these last few games, especially playing the Lynx 2 games in a row. They're hungry. And the thing with the Lynx is that they feel like they were robbed last year against New York. So their goal, their only focus is to get back to the finals and to win. In order for us to have any sort of chance against the Lynx, we cannot give them second chance looks. We cannot give them easy baskets because they build off that momentum. So not letting them have fast break after fast break, not leaving all of their players open for those easy threes. I think it comes down to defense. I think whoever plays the best defense, and it's not going to be a shootout. That's not a good way to play against the Lynx. It's not to try to shoot against them. It's to get those possessions on defense and to not have a lot of turnovers. So that's how I think we win those games.
Okay. All right. So we have the Lynx 2 times. First, they're at our house today when this is posting. And then we have them on Sunday at their house. Which do you think will be easier to beat them at?
I think that the environment at home in Indiana is so loud and insane that it would definitely... There's a lot of crowd support that helps in those kind of victories. But there's something really just so sweet about beating someone when you're away. It feels so good. And that momentum, I think, could carry into more victories against Seattle and LA and Golden State. And I think that's what they need is those road wins do really...
Yeah.
They get the blood going.
Okay, so that's the plan. I got it. I can see it now. I felt it. As you were saying it, like, oh, that road win could propel us into the next... Oh, I felt that little spark right inside here. For all you podcast listeners, I was pointing to my heart. Because we don't currently have a video podcast.
Not currently.
All right, Fever fans. Well, I hope that this reaches you all well at your homes. I hope you're all doing much better than our roster is. And as always, we hope to see you next time on Fever Replay. Keep praying for that groin.
Keep praying for that
I feel
groin.
like they're going to pay off soon. They're going to pay off soon.
That's how
all
prayers
right, we'll
work.
see you next week.
Bye-bye.